Welcome to LilyTube, friends. Today we are talking about red flags in dating. So if you're a single adult, you'll want to stick around for this one. Please take a quick moment to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll receive notice of all our great content hot off the press.
This video has been funded by Loans by Vicky, the best loan officer around. If you've been interested in buying a home recently, Vicky is the right pick for you. She makes things easy and communication is effortless. With access to dozens of lenders, it's no surprise that she has the best rates we've seen. Loans by Vicky, the smoothest option to getting settled into a home of your dreams.
We can't talk about red flags in dating and relationships without also talking about trauma. Trauma exists in our bodies because our brains are 2 million years old and they're used to protecting us. Their primary function is survival. And so when something happens that is upsetting, our brains can often generalize that thought and be afraid of all kinds of things that maybe aren't really dangerous, but the brain is overdoing it a little bit to be on the safe side. And that is designed for our protection, not necessarily for our happiness.
When trauma is triggered, we see red flags, even if they aren't there. And then we engage in self-protective behaviors instead of being authentic and vulnerable in dating relationships. This fear makes it impossible for healthy relationships to develop because we become unwilling to take the risks that are required. When we believe we are seeing red flags, even though there may be nothing truly dangerous about our dating partner.
Red flags prevent relationships because we are fearful of getting hurt. We stay single because our trauma convinces us that every person we date is unsafe. Seeing false flags is exhausting and deprives us of the energy necessary to develop healthy relationships.
You know, Jeff, this talking about red flags wouldn't be complete without the law of attraction.
Which is
that we will get more of what we put our focus on. What that means is that when we focus on red flags when we're dating and we are looking for them everywhere, we cause ourselves to attract more of what we do not want. Seeing red flags that are based on cognitive distortions from our own past trauma will blind us from seeing the good qualities in our dating partners and keep us from seeing the gifts they offer.
Now, we're not suggesting that you simply ignore visible signs of abusive behavior, but it is important to distinguish between behavior that is genuinely abusive, which is truly what people refer to as red flags, and behavior that you might be just interpreting as a sign or demonstrating a tendency that triggers your own trauma.
Yeah, I think it's really important to know the difference. And that's something we had to get good at when we were dating each other because we'd both been through divorces before. We'd had our own trauma in relationships and we were seeing some of our own red flags in each other. And of course, now that we've been married 5 years and we've known each other 7 or 8, it's no longer a question of whether those red flags are something we need to be worried about, but they were really prominent in the beginning of our relationship.
You know, Cathy, I remember on our pre-honeymoon trip, you were worried for a while and stewing and fretful and upset because I had hidden from you an expenditure which was really just to buy you a gift, an engagement present. Now, that's an example of where our thoughts can run wild because she had been with a partner previously who wasn't always truthful.
And had even used that as part of the equation is, oh, well, I was trying to surprise you.
Right.
It was never a good surprise.
So you get the idea. What we're talking about is when you interpret somebody else's behavior through the lens of a past trauma and you get upset that something is a sign that this person is going to be untruthful later or abusive in some other way.
It's never really fair to judge another person by your experience with someone else, but we do it all the time. Now let's talk about solutions for this habit we tend to have of looking for red flags in all our dating relationships. Our first suggestion is to focus on green flags so that the law of attraction works in your favor. Focus on those things that you want, so more of those things will show up in your dating relationships. Also, avoid having conversations about red flags with cynical people who tend to see everything as a red flag. In addition, date long enough for you both to feel comfortable and let your guard down while keeping your eyes open and just simply observing the behavior curiously.
Also, don't make important relationship decisions when you are feeling triggered. I promise you, you're not thinking straight in that kind of moment. Wait until you're calm, feeling peaceful and centered. How does your dating partner talk about former partners? Consider that. Can they see their own part in the relationship failure? Being able to compassionately self-confront is a huge green flag to look for.
As we wrap up this video, we'd just like to pose 3 questions to our audience, and we'd love to hear your experience in the comments. The first is, what experience do you have with red flags that were true cause for concern in a dating relationship?
And what red flags might you have seen that were exaggerated in your mind because of past trauma?
And the last question is, what green flags are you looking for in a future companion?
So please let us know what you think about those questions in the comments section.
And remember that any time is a great time for more love in your life.
Thank you for watching.